Look, I'm in front of the camera again. I forgot to put on my glasses. So I know you're probably mad at me. And you have a right to do that. Okay, I know I said I was going to upload different videos throughout the month, and I've only uploaded twice. That's because the video that just came out last week, should be up here. I worked so fucking hard on that because I edited Dimitri's part because I had a collab with Dimitri. I edited his part and then I deleted it on accident, and then I had to re-edit the whole thing, and then after re-editing his part, I edited my last part and I accidentally deleted that as well. So then I had to re-edit two separate parts of the video, combine it, and then I finally uploaded it, and then it got taken down, and then I had to re-upload it, re-edit it again, the parts that I already edited, and then upload it again. So yeah, sucks to be you, huh? Right? You didn't get a fucking video. Boo-hoo. But yes, I'm gonna be working on more videos. I have a bigger video. Gotta take up a lot of time. Hopefully I can still come out with videos this October, now that it's actually October. Anyway, yeah, it's October time now. No, it isn't. No, by the time this video is out, it's already October. Yay! And you know what that means. My book, Cold Freezing Night, already out. You guys can go buy it. It's a collection of short horror stories. It's on Amazon. The link is in the description, and the link is in the comments as well. Also, while I'm filming, it's also National Podcast Day. So if you guys really like podcasts, go check out Nighthawks, which is where we talk about the horror genre and analyze it. Or you can go watch Cape Lock, which is about an investigator. She's looking for a town that seemingly only exists in people's memories. One's a fiction podcast with over 13 voice actors that I hired. I wrote and produced it. Yes, I made it. Nighthawks. I host it. I write a lot of the scripts, and I do a lot of research, and I make all the interviews. It's super fun. I have a lot of other YouTube channels that also come on. I interviewed Dimitri as well, and I also interviewed Journey to the Other Side. He's also a great YouTuber. His link is also down in the description because I mentioned him in this video. A lot of the videos that I'm going to be doing are collabs with smaller artists because I want to expand on that. I feel like YouTube is a way to find people that you like watching, and if you like my kind of content, you'll definitely like their content. You should definitely check out Dimitri's channel. I was in a video with him where we went randonauting, and if you didn't know what that is, it's basically an app that tells you where to go if you put in a kind of keyword. It's super fun. I recommend doing it, and it was just a fun video. And speaking of that video, that's where I'm going to be starting off as well, because today you guys sent me your spooky stories. Not all of you. I don't know why. There was a huge lack of comments in the last video. I'm still going to read them just because, you know, you guys commented. And it's just the rules of the channel. But I also did get some more spooky stories just for the hell of it. So let's get into the spooky stories. Also, if you don't know, here's my Instagram, here's my Twitter. I basically use those for you guys to tell me your stories. You guys could also just DM me. I'm fucking bored all the time, so I will respond. I'm excited for the plethora of projects that are soon to come out of this channel. Thank you. And speaking of, go buy my book. It's out now. It's only $15. And the next novel that I'm working on should be out by this month. So keep an eye out for that. Mr. Spookum Wookums is back at it again. I like that. I'll get a name tag with that. Spooky story. I subscribe to your channel. Oh, hold on, there's more. You're a furry. Why? Porn stash on fleek, king. Is that what you call it? Is this a bad time to announce my OnlyFans? No, I don't. I'm not gonna make an OnlyFans. Nice. Alright, thank you. Beautiful facial hair. Edit. I'll play D&D with you. Yeah, sure, if you want to play D&D. Like I said, just message me on Instagram or on Twitter. Do it. I'm lonely. And also thank you for the compliment on my hair. I was legit thinking of just shaving it, but you know, kind of like it. Gives me kind of a goofier look. Where is you talking about Clarence Big Break movie? I didn't think I would be talking about that movie. I was only talking about the art of Clarence. I don't know where you got the idea that I'm going to be reviewing all of the Clarence movie. All right, I think now it's a good time to go to the scary stories part. Here's one by Andy McGuffin. I've never had any spooky ghost encounters or things try to kill me, except a dog, but there was a strange phenomenon I can't seem to explain. So when I was a kid, between 8 and 11, I had a series of connected nightmares, all happening at random times throughout those 3 years. The first one with what I called Boogeyman, a pitch black male with short hair walking on all fours and making animal noises, stalking me from my bedroom door. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. The second one was with him going into my parents' bedroom. He had to go through my room first to get to theirs back where I lived. The third was with my mom coming out of her room, looking just like the boogeyman, but in her nightdress. Then, after a long time, the next dream had me sitting in a corner of the living room. The TV was on, news reports of some sort of spreading plague and disasters went on. I kind of feel like this was a premonition of what's going on now. There was a light shining on me, and from the shadows, I could see my dad saying, "Come on, I won't hurt you." The dream ended when I hesitated to give him the hand, and he tried to bite me. And the last one, I was walking in the alley in front of our apartment. Everything was dark, a long hedge stretched along the left side of the path, and on the right there were street lanterns. I walked along the path, but it did not end. Suddenly I heard something run behind me. I turned around and I saw the boogeyman run on all fours towards me. It ran over me. I woke up and I realized I fell out of bed. That's it. That's exactly how I remember it throughout all these years. Yeah, that was actually pretty fucking spooky. Wow. I got another one from one of my followers. They said that they would like to remain anonymous, so let's just read their story. So I used to live with my dad in the Hutto-Taylor area in Texas. There wasn't much around there, and we moved because Hutto had the only therapist that would take the healthcare that I was on at the time. So he decided to put all of my siblings on with the same therapist to save money and some traveling. The house we lived in was pretty big, and him and my siblings still live there today, actually. In my life, I had a bit of trouble with being able to tell what I've imagined and what was actually reality. It's not like anything drastic, but say if I got into a fight with one of my brothers, I would hold a bunch of things against him because I would overthink a lot that he was saying to me. So at that house, if I were in a stressful situation, my brain would dial it up to 100 and make it even worse. So my brain would make it seem a lot worse than it was, and I remember being home alone one day because I wasn't feeling too good. I went downstairs to go to the kitchen when a mailman had come up to the door and he knocked super loud, like he pounded on the door. And after he pushed some of our mail under the door and walked away, but I took it as hearing someone pounding on the door and then jiggling the doorknob trying to open it. So I had gone upstairs and sat in my room for a little bit to kind of calm myself down, and I thought I heard the doorknob jiggle again, and then open. It didn't really happen though. I've just always had a really overactive imagination when I got stressed. Most of the time I lived there, I thought the house was haunted because of that, which is really silly sounding, I know. Other times I used to listen to my dad and older brother argue downstairs, and in the morning I'd wake up and go to school, and I would think that I'd hear them again. I would think I'm hearing them argue again, but saying the same stuff, like some kind of tape recorder, and I'd go downstairs and I'd be the only one just sitting there, eating, or something like that. I would just replay a bunch of stuff in my head happening again, and it was so vivid I thought it was actually happening again. I know it probably doesn't sound as scary or stressful, but when I was younger it kind of messed me up. There were points where certain bad things actually happened, and I just brushed them off as something that I had thought up because I hadn't trusted myself anymore. I'm still really not sure what it was or how to explain it other than just an overactive imagination. There's probably a lot more stuff that I probably forgot since this was a while ago, but that's about it now. That's pretty interesting, actually. That's wow. I think I also have a lot of memories as a kid that I would think were ghosts, but in reality were probably just my overactive imagination. This is from another friend, Violet Mirrors. I used some of their music in the last video, and we are collabing in a different video in the future, so be sure to look for that. This is what they said. I was like 7. I had a toy car and I set it down on my dresser, and then it flew across the room and hit me in the head. I think it may have been a dream, but it left a mark. It was a short story, but still, that's pretty weird. And also, this channel has a subreddit, so, you know, check out the subreddit. It's in the comments and in the description. G Turtle King says, "Apology for bad English. Where were you when Club Penguin died? I was at house eating Dorito when phone rang. Club Penguin is killed. No." I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. And then the last story I wanted to say, because this was my mom's story, I asked her if she had any stories, and she had a few. The first story was when I had a cousin whose mother had passed away. And one day, while he was like 1.5, almost 2 years old, he went to the front door and opened it, and he kind of spread his arms out like a little kid does when he expects to be picked up. And then he knocked out. He just passed out. He was taken to the hospital, and they took some of his spinal fluid to run some tests, and they didn't find anything wrong with him. But as time went on, he still fainted and passed out. It was really weird. And around the same time, my mom had my 2 older brothers. One of them was sleeping by her feet, and she had this, she was half asleep, but she had this premonition of the child's mother who'd passed away, walked in and tried to take my older brother, who was sleeping at the foot at her feet. And the whole time my mom was basically saying, no, that's my child. And then she kept on resisting them taking, you know, her son away. And then she just kind of disappeared in thin air. Very creepy. Another story involved me. We were sleeping on the floor. It was me and my mom. And my mom had this vision of someone, she thought it was my older brother, one of my older brothers, trying to push me and wake me up. The whole time she thought it was my brother, so she told him, you know, go back to sleep. But it wasn't him because he didn't go back to sleep. And it was like a complete stranger just trying to wake me up. And the fact that I was like 1.5 and have no recollection of this is probably the scariest part. And the last story is probably my favorite, which is really spooky and really kind of a lot more touching, was when she had a dream about a friend coming over to her house and basically saying goodbye. And she was confused, telling her friend to come in and whatnot, and she just said, you know, no, I gotta go, I gotta leave. So her best friend left. And then returning back to Mexico with family, her mom, my mom's mom, my grandma, told her that she had news. My mom told her about the dream. My grandma said that was the news I was going to tell you, is that your friend had passed away a few months ago. Around that time where she passed away was the same time my mom had that dream. And the whole day, my mom was crying because of that. It was just very interesting to think about stuff like that, because sometimes I feel like ghost stories, sure, they might be spooky, but also they might be a way for people to grieve. All right, time for the last story. This one comes with video footage. Dimitri, like I said, he helped collab, and on his story, he posted that he caught something on tape. And that's the weird part. And I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to clickbait. But it isn't clickbait. It is actually on tape. And it's weird. So he was filming for his communications class. While he was giving this speech to his communications class, I'll edit the clip a bit. You can see that the camera starts moving. Here, take a look.
Team was sent out, and the scene that was found, the tent was frantically cut from the inside. It was still tightly closed.
And I asked him if it was possible at all that it had, you know, moved by something at all. I asked for his setup. Here's a picture of that. I don't think that setup's going to be moving anytime soon. The books are heavy. The tripod looks pretty sturdy. And I know for a fact that a camera like that is a little heavy. So it's going to take a lot of pressure to push it. He said that his cats were not around, but he also did have a cat test, you know, have a cat walk by. Did not push it at all. So it was just weird because not only do we see it move twice, very forcefully, it's moving with a lot of force, and it's moving in the same direction, which is strange. You could also see his reaction. He looks a little scared. I would be too, because I've never seen that and it hasn't happened yet. If you have an explanation, please let me know. But yeah, those are a few scary stories, a few funny stories, and if you guys have any more, comment them down, and maybe on Halloween I'll have a whole list of just spooky stories. If not, then maybe if you want, I can probably check them out on one of the many subreddits of scary stories that there are, if you want to see more videos about this kind of stuff. I give recommendations. I didn't think I did that last time. I still got a sticker on this book. Fuck. I recommend Steph King's The Institute. I'm halfway through the book. It's a big book, but it is super good, and it's actually it's more of a fantasy King story, but it really will get you into the spooky mood. I really recommend you read it. Stephen King has a way with words. It's very difficult to put this book down. These kids who have powers, and they are stuck in this kind of school trapping, it's like a trap thing school where they have to hone those. It's pretty interesting, very fantasy-like, but you know, it is pretty dramatic and pretty spooky in a few places. So I know this is probably like the second time I recommended Stephen King books, since the last one was Elevation. But then I think I also recommended The Lost Causes of Bleak Creek. I still recommend that. Very spooky. This month, I recommend Stephen King's The Institute. You can get it at Walmart or Target. It's pretty cheap, and it's a really good book. And it really, you know, gets you into the spooky mood. Hopefully, I'll upload this month. I'll try to. I don't think I'll be doing weekly. I think I'll be doing twice a week because I have a lot of video ideas and I want to get them out as soon as possible, just so you guys have a lot of spooky content to watch this month. And here's also your reminder that I have my Instagram and my Twitter and my subreddit. So all in the description and all in the comments. Happy Halloween. See you guys later. you.